All right, good morning, you Muppets. It's July 31st, and welcome to another edition of the Hi5 series from the DH podcast. Um, First things first, before we get started, because I always forget at the end. If you like this is kind of a snippet of what you can get on the full podcast, where we're usually about an hour and a half or so, once a week. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Stitcher, wherever you want to get your podcasts at. The Hi5 series is always here on YouTube. We don't do the audio and toss it into Spotify. It's just, no, we just don't want to do it. So we're not going to do it. My man, I'm 40. I don't want to do it. Let's see. Apart from the YouTube series, we also want to make sure that if you have anything that you want us to add, or if you think, hey, Nick, think it'd be really cool if you added, a certain component or a certain theme or series, whatever, feel free to comment. Find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. We'll be out there. Number one, first and foremost, I went on a rant last week, or not last week. It's a Friday. My brain's blown. On Wednesday about Joe Kelly. Well received, but Rob Manfred didn't like it. He did not approve of my rant. So I have another one, another quick one, a short one. Hashtag free Joe Kelly, because Joe Kelly got an 8-game suspension, which equates to about 13 to 14% of the season, if it were spread out to a normal 162-game season. And it's absolute bullshit. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, they have been punished or suspended 0 games. They get to keep that precious ring. They get to keep all the memories of their cheating dirtbag ways. There's absolutely no way that Joe Kelly should have a suspension for doing what everybody thinks is right. Oh, and by the way, he didn't even hit either of them. He whizzed it past Bregman, and he threw a breaking ball that Correa was too big of a pussy to get to. So, that's the only reason why he was suspended. It is utterly and patently ridiculous, and Manfred has now shown that he doesn't know how to punish at all. Could have punished the Red Sox back in Apple Watchgate. Didn't do it. Didn't bring the hammer down enough on the Astros. You punish the higher-ups. Nobody cares about the higher-ups. It's the players that you see on the field 162 games a year, or 60 in this case. But who cares? It's ridiculous. And the fact that Manfred can't even see past that, and the MLB released a statement saying, well, we don't, punish in the past. Go to hell. Go to hell. It's terrible. And I can't believe that we're putting up with it. It makes no sense. Whoo! Also, Dusty Baker getting out there and saying that Joe Kelly should, be in trouble and all this stuff. Dusty Baker is the reason why we don't let children in clubhouses anymore. You want to know why? It's because Dusty Baker's dumb son, all the way back in 2002, 0-2 World Series, the Giants were in it. They lost the World Series in a huge, huge part because in a pivotal moment, Dusty Baker's son runs out because he was a bat boy, runs out to get the bat in the middle of a play. And the catcher, J.D. Snow, shout out to you, J.D. Snow, for actually being a decent human being. J.D. Snow runs out, and instead of actually making the play at home plate like he should have, or like he had plenty of time to do, if there wasn't a kid in the way, he had to grab this kid and move him so that Dusty Baker's son didn't get steamrolled. It's insanity. So, Dusty Baker is a height of hypocrisy, and the fact that people are still giving him a paycheck is ridiculous, because you saw what happened to the Giants immediately after he left. 3 World Series, 5 years. That's insanity. That hasn't been done since like the 20s Yankees. So once he leaves, places are much better. It's essentially like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. The Astros needed to make a decision quick, and they're like, this guy Dusty knows what a baseball is. Get him out there. Yeah. Whew. All right. It was a quick-ish rant. Is over. Number 2 is the SEC released that they're going to have a 10-game only in-conference schedule. So we know that the Pac had done this already. We know that the Big Ten had done this already. But we're still waiting on the SEC because typically they've been the most stalwarts of the holdout for wanting to play a normal season. Well, got a 10-game season for them, and it's beginning on September 26th. So a little bit later than we wanted, but I think that they're making the right decision here. I think that they're taking all in all into account that they actually want to be able to play, and giving those extra 2 weeks, they're going to move it and make sure that they can get their athletes in gear, get them on campus, make sure that they're safe. Number 3 is keeping up with college football. Notre Dame. For those of you that are DH podcast listeners already, not the most recent episode, but the one before that, we talked for like 45 minutes about what the hell Notre Dame was going to do, and it looked like the commissioners of the ACC and the athletic department of Notre Dame listened to us, because it was either you pick off these random schools that you'll steamroll and nobody's going to enjoy watching you play, or you can join the ACC, and so they'll be in the ACC. Now, a couple things to note about this is that, one, they're going to have a shot at that conference championship for the first time. It's pretty huge for Notre Dame to be able to do. They've been cast outs of the college football playoffs because they have no conference championship. That extra game puts other schools like at Ohio State above them, when now those other schools have no arguing. No ground to move on. It's going to be an easier schedule. It's another point. Is that instead of playing Stanford, and instead of playing USC, and instead of playing Michigan, instead of playing, well, Navy's not really a tough one, but you get what I mean here. They have an easier schedule. All they have to do this year is play Clemson. And somehow they rigged it so that Clemson has to go all the way to South Bend. That's wild. I don't know how they got that home game. They also have Florida State at home. But again, like compared to Notre Dame, Florida State, Duke, those teams are nothing. Those teams are nothing. Their only difficult game in the ACC is going to be Clemson. Simple and plain. Now, will it be bigger than Notre Dame, USC? Probably. Bigger than Notre Dame, Michigan? It'll be probably on the same level. So the people should be really excited about that. I know I am, and the ACC is also extremely happy, because the reason why Notre Dame never joined a conference is the fat checks they get every week and every season from NBC for that contract. Every Notre Dame game on NBC, here we go. Well, we're going to keep Notre Dame games on NBC, but what's going to happen is we're going to have a little revenue split now. So because the ACC is involved, they're going to get a little windfall cash. So ACC, this is a win-win for them. More exposure, better program, revenue split, and also you may have the chance to actually get Notre Dame to fall. If they like the way that this season goes, even though it's a weird one, then that could be huge talks the next time that contract expires for them, for Notre Dame as well. All right. Number 4 is that the NBA was back last night. We had the Lakers pull out against the Clippers late, thanks to LeBron clamping down on Kawhi and Paul George to make Paul George throw up so many bricks, you could build a house with it. We got to see Zion again. Zion's big, thick. So, for all you bettors out there, all you fellow degenerates, it's good to be back. I'm pulling on my phone now because my number 5 for every last single Friday is just watch some sports. Watch some sports. I've got some for you. If you want MLB, you're going to get great ones today. Cardinals and Brewers kick it off at 2 o'clock. You don't want to work anymore? Sure, just put on the game, hang out, have some glizzies while you're at it. Red Sox, Yankees. Red Sox have been stumbling, but they've won their last 2 in a row. Granted, the last 2 are against the Mets. So, let's see what they can do with an actual opponent. Smart money lines on the Yankees, though. Moving down here. Indians, Twins. That's always a pre-playoff matchup, as we've seen. Always make sure to follow that one. That's about it on the MLB side. Now, on the NBA side of things, we've got the Grizzlies and the Trailblazers. That's at 4. So again, you want to get out of work a little early? Go for it. You deserve it. It's Friday. Celtics, Bucks. That could be your Eastern Conference Finals right there. 6:30. Milwaukee's favored 4.5. I'll take that line. I take Celtics line on that one, actually. Just way too many healthy people. Fingers crossed, Celtics are actually completely healthy at the moment. And they don't even know what that word means, by the way. No idea what the word healthy means. So Rockets, Mavericks are going to be amazing as well. Those are 2 playoff contenders as well. So that's just today. Make sure to go to check out, and those are in your quote unquote Big Four. Now the NHL is still playing exhibition, but apparently the ESPN app does not respect them enough to put them on here. So, all right, everybody, that's your high five for July 31st, 2020. I'll see you next month. Technically, I know there's a douchey statement. I'm sorry. I'll see you Monday. I hope you all have a great weekend. Make sure to watch some sports out there.